You know what to say, so why do you freeze? It's your moment to speak. And all that preparation goes out the window like a blackout. I don't even remember what happened. Like, it's illogical that you would feel so scared. And yet, the reality is that you do. There is a way to relate to this differently. There is a way that you can feel better about your speaking. Welcome to the She Speaks to Inspire podcast. I'm your host, Julia Kraft, your authentic expression mentor and public speaking coach. So let's dive in. You know what to say, so why do you freeze? I see you girls staying up till midnight or later, getting all the words perfect in your presentation, editing those last things in the PowerPoint, rehearsing it for the 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th time. I see you. And then there you are. All the eyes turn to you. It's your moment to speak. And all that preparation goes out the window. It's like it didn't even make any difference, like a blackout. I don't even remember what happened. Welcome back to the She Speaks to Inspire podcast. I'm your host, Julia Kraft, founder of Speak to Inspire Coaching. And today we're going to talk about one of the foundational challenges that I see with my clients. That no matter what they do, no matter how much preparation they put into their presentations, they're still struggling with blankouts and freezing in front of their audience. Does this sound like you? By the way, this is episode 90 of the She Speaks to Inspire podcast. We are chugging along. I'm so proud of all the content that I've created, and I hope it's really helping you. I hope that you're getting a lot of value out of this podcast. So if you haven't already, make sure to leave a review or give us a rating. That'll help other women find the podcast and get the same value that you're getting. Thank you. Whether your speaking moment is a complex presentation with PowerPoints and tons of detailed content, or it's just a simple introduction of yourself where all you have to say is your name and what you do, you can freeze in any situation. Whether you have a script, whether you've done tons of rehearsal and preparation, or whether you're just saying your own name, blanking out, freezing, being stuck in front of an audience, first of all, is the worst, right? It's so uncomfortable. It's that dreaded moment that we all want to avoid. And it's also incredibly normal in that I think everyone has experienced that at some point in their life. If you are experiencing that kind of freeze and blank out regularly, almost every time you're put in the spotlight, then this pattern really requires some attention. Today, we're putting our attention on the pattern of freeze and how it has nothing to do with knowing what to say, even having the words written on a piece of paper. These kind of freezes are happening because the preparation you've done has nothing to do with the reality of the challenges that you face in a speaking moment, especially in a high stakes speaking moment. The reality of the challenges that you face, what is it? Well, all these eyes are looking at you and expecting something, so you feel pressure to perform. All these people are judging you, so you feel pressure to be good. All these eyes are looking at you and judging how you look, so you need to look good. And all of these pressures amount to a feeling of fear in your body. All your preparation around the content, you know what to say, has nothing to do with the emotional reality of those speaking moments. That's the key right there. Knowing what to say, it makes sense that you think that knowing what to say would make you feel calmer and more confident. It's the one thing that you can control, especially leading up to an event, right? It's the most obvious thing that you can take hold of and control and prepare. However, the thing that it's harder to control or prepare is your nervous system, your emotions, and your mindset. But those are the things running the show when it comes to the moment all those eyes turn to you. The words are rational, right? It's left brain. I can write them down in black and white, and I might feel calm in the moment of knowing that I have the words down. But the experience in your body when those eyes turn to you is irrational. Like it's illogical that you would feel so scared. And yet the reality is that you do. The reality is that you feel scared, that your body is shutting down, freezing, blanking out because of an overwhelming amount of uncomfortable emotions. In the therapy world, that would be called being flooded, right? Being flooded with emotions to the point where you're overwhelmed and therefore the nervous system shuts it down, goes sort of numb and flat, sometimes disassociates to deal with the intensity of the moment. It's really important if you want to overcome performance anxiety to make this distinction that the content has nothing to do with the emotional experience of being in front of an audience. I know that you still have to get words out of your mouth. I know. But in order to get them out easily, naturally, confidently, your preparation needs to be much more about the emotional side of things, which might be really counterintuitive when it comes to speaking. We want to prepare what we're going to say. Before I get into my suggestions for you, I just want to say, I'm not saying you should not do any preparation, because thinking through what you want to share, how to organize it, that definitely is part of being a great communicator. However, if you're doing that preparation and still shutting down and blanking out and freezing, that's where these things come in. What I recommend is that you spend less time on the detailed nitty-gritty of preparation of content and turn your attention to your nervous system. Spend a lot more time paying attention to preparing your nervous system through working with your body, working with your emotions, and working with your mind. To start with the body, your body is the expression of your unconscious mind. So start with the physical symptoms that you're experiencing. And a lot of times freeze response expresses itself as tension, this sort of frozen feeling in the body. The eyes will bulge out, the muscles tense up, there's stiffness. There can be a feeling of rigidity in the body, which can also strangely express itself sometimes as fidgeting or like lots of energy that you just don't know what to do with and you can't stop moving. But it's still coming from a lot of muscle tension and energy held in the body. You'll hear me in all the podcast episodes talk about the power of a speaker's warm-up routine. A speaker's warm-up routine always works with the body first. We're doing stretches, breathing, posture work, things to shake out tension. And these should not be downplayed. They're not silly. They're not frivolous. They're necessary to work with the right brain, irrational, illogical part of you that is scared of being seen by an audience, because that is real. Like your body is having that experience. So if you try to ignore it and just get through it, it will bite you in the ass. Might as well turn towards it, work with the body, get to know, how does my body want to be supported? That, by the way, is the mindset that I encourage you to turn towards. How can I be kinder to myself, kinder to my body, kinder to my nervous system, kinder to my mind that's creating all these crazy stories of what could go wrong? How could I be kinder to myself? And in the same way, be gentle on myself. Gentle might look like I'm going to take really good care of my sleep leading up to a presentation. Gentle could look like doing a meditation in the morning. It could look like making sure to have a good breakfast or drinking enough water. And it could also look like talking to yourself in a gentler, kinder way. All of this adds up to you're supporting yourself. You take responsibility for supporting yourself around this stressful, scary moment in time. Just like you would show up for a kid, your kid, your niece, your nephew, you would show up for them when they're scared and support them and make sure that they feel loved and supported. Do that for yourself. So there's a lot to be said about how to work with your body around the freeze response. I recommend either going to my website and watching the free training there that goes into more around the nervous system, or going to the Performance Anxiety Toolkit on the website, so that you can actually dive into some training with me. The second thing that I suggest turning your attention towards when you want to reduce the freeze response, how can I reduce the stakes? How can I reduce the feeling of pressure in this moment? There's no one size fits all for this. The first question you might ask yourself is, what do I feel is at stake in this moment? What do I feel pressure about? Maybe you have thoughts like, I want people to like me, or I want my boss to think that I'm right for that promotion, or we have this big account that I need to do a good job for. Whatever you feel are the stakes, really keep asking yourself, what do I feel like is at stake here? Where am I feeling pressure? And then ask yourself, how could I reduce the feeling of pressure? How could I take the edge off of this? A lot of times that has to do with zooming out, seeing the big picture. For example, you're going to a networking event, you know you're going to have to introduce yourself. And even just saying your name and what you do feels like such an intense moment of spotlight pressure. Zoom out, you may never see these people again. There's other networking events you can go to. The next time you introduce yourself, you might say it differently or improve based on what you experience in this one. You zoom out and create a sense of, wow, I'm not going to die here. And that mindset can really lower the intensity of the symptoms you're having in your body. And then you won't have to do so much preparation work to help your body. The last thing I want to suggest for you to reduce the freeze response and help you just speak from what you have to say, because you did that preparation, right? Instead of trying to say the thing the way that you said it in your hotel room when you were practicing, or the way you wrote it down on the paper. What if you, in the moment, listened to your instincts and impulses? What if you trusted yourself to speak from your instinct? Which probably, 100% of the time actually, is going to be different than you planned. And that's good. That's how it should be. Speaking will always be a live human experience in the moment. It's unpredictable. That's why we love it. That's why we watch it. We want it to be unpredictable. We want it to be real and fresh and authentic. Learning to trust your instincts is a process. It's sort of like building a muscle memory, that you know what it feels like to have an impulse or an instinct, and you know what it's like to let it flow through you versus censor it, second guess it, cut it off, right? All of us are very well conditioned by society, a lot of social conditioning, right? Of what's acceptable, what's unacceptable, how I should express, how I shouldn't express. And some of that may be helpful in some situations, but a lot of it is just putting you right up in your head to get you stuck in perfectionism. So the more you can listen to your instincts and impulses, you'll be able to soften around any sense of how you should say it or what I should say, and be present with your audience, which means that you're flowing in the moment versus freezing. This is all easier said than done. I get it, but this is the direction to move in. I hope this podcast episode has helped you unpack your relationship to content, as well as to those moments of freeze and blank out. There is a way to relate to this differently. There is a way that you can feel better about your speaking and be more effective as well. If this has been helpful for you, I recommend going to my website, speaktoinspire.com, registering for the free training there, and scheduling a consult. It would be my pleasure to talk with you. Thanks for listening. This has been She Speaks to Inspire with Julia Kraft, your authentic expression mentor and public speaking coach. I'm so glad you joined me, and I hope you got so much out of this episode. If you want to learn more about Speak to Inspire training programs and get inspired, head over to speaktoinspire.com or follow us on Instagram at She Speaks to Inspire. Never forget, the world needs your voice, and it's time for you to speak to inspire. See you in the next episode.